Hey guys, I'm back with some more important questions on literature. And as I was getting feedback from people, and people were requesting to make some videos on British literature as well. So today I'm going to talk about British literature. And as far as I know, and I can understand that in net or in all other competitive exams, writers from modern and postmodern age appear more in comparison to writers from other literary ages. So I would like to start with modern age, and I will complete the writers from modern age, and then I will continue with postmodern age, and then I will shift to the other ages from literature. So let's begin with modern age part 1. And the first question is, once upon a time and very good time it was, is the opening line of. So here we have a line, once upon a time and very good time it was. It is a line from which work, or it is the line, opening line of which work? And the options are a portrait of the artist as a young man, Finnegan's Wake, Exiles, Dubliners. So we have four options here: a portrait of the artist as a young man, Finnegan's Wake, Exiles, and Dubliners. And the correct answer is a portrait of the artist as a young man. So, once upon a time and very good time it was is the opening line of a portrait of the artist as a young man, right? And if we talk about the last line of the same novel, I mean the last line of a portrait of the artist as a young man is, old father, old artificer, stand me now and ever in good stead. So this is the last line of a portrait of the artist as a young man. I am repeating the last line of this novel, old father, old artificer, stand me now and ever in good stead. So this is the last line of a portrait of the artist as a young man. Next question is, identify the odd one. So here we have a list of characters, and you have to identify the odd one which is not similar to the rest of the options. And the options are Gerald Critch, Sir Clifford, Ursula, Rupert Birkin. So we have four characters here: Gerald Critch, Sir Clifford, Ursula, Rupert Birkin. Right? And the correct answer is Sir Clifford, because this is a character from Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. Rest of the characters are from Women in Love by D.H. Lawrence. So one character is from different novel, that is Lady Chatterley's Lover by Lawrence, and rest three, Gerald Critch, Ursula, and Rupert Birkin, are the characters from Women in Love. So the odd one is Sir Clifford, B. And the next question is, which of these is a non-fiction work by George Orwell? यहाँ पे कुछ वर्क्स के नाम हैं, एंड यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई विच ऑफ दीज इज a non-fiction work by George Orwell. And the options are Road to Vegan Pyre, Homage to Catalonia, A and B both, and none of these. Right? And the correct answer is A and B both. Road to Vegan Pyre, Homage to Catalonia, both are non-fiction works by George Orwell. So C is the correct answer. Next question is, Birds, Beasts and Flowers is a. So here we have a work, Birds, Beasts and Flowers. So what is it? A novel, poem, poetry collection, or a play? It is a poetry collection. And by whom? It is a poetry collection by D.H. Lawrence. So Birds, Beasts and Flowers is a poetry collection by D.H. Lawrence. Next question is, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf depicts the story of. Mrs. Dalloway is a novel by Virginia Woolf, and it depicts the story of which day? And the options are Monday in April, Sunday in December, Tuesday in May, or Wednesday in June. And the correct answer is D, Wednesday in June. So Mrs. Dalloway talks about a single day. I mean, it is a story of one day which celebrates the birthday of Mrs. Dalloway, right? Next question is, which of these novels is inspired by a painting? So we have a list of novels here, And which of these works or which of these novels is inspired by a painting? And the options are Sons and Lovers, White Peacock, Aaron's Road, and Kangaroo. So we have four options, and the right one is White Peacock. So the novel White Peacock is inspired by a painting. So B is the right answer. Next question is, who among these modern writers is associated with Bloomsbury Group? So here is a question about Bloomsbury Group, and who among these writers is closely associated with this Bloomsbury Group? And the options are Virginia Woolf, Huxley, Graham Greene, Ford Madox Ford. So we have four options, and we have to identify which of these writers is associated with Bloomsbury Group. And the right answer is A. Virginia Woolf is closely associated with the Bloomsbury Group. So Virginia Woolf and her husband Leopold Woolf were closely associated with this group. Which group? Bloomsbury Group. So what is this Bloomsbury Group? It was a group of English writers, philosophers and artists who were associated with each other in first half of 20th century. So right answer here is Virginia Woolf, who was associated with Bloomsbury Group. Next question is, Dublin is the setting of which writer's works? And options we have are Ford Madox Ford, H.G. Wells, James Joyce and Joseph Conrad. And the right answer is James Joyce, because many of the works by James Joyce are set in Dublin, and one of the examples is Dubliners. Dubliners is also set in Dublin. So correct answer here is James Joyce. Next question is, how many chapters Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce contains? So here we are talking about Finnegan's Wake, which is a work by James Joyce. उसमें कितने chapters हैं? And the options are 10, 12, 15, 17. And the correct answer is D, 17. So Finnegan's Wake is divided into 4 books and 17 chapters. So right answer here is 17 chapters. Okay, the next question is, which birthday of Mrs. Dalloway is celebrated in Mrs. Dalloway, which is a novel by Virginia Woolf. So कौन सा birthday Mrs. Dalloway का celebrate किया जाता है novel Mrs. Dalloway में? And the options are 45th, 40th, 35th or 30th. And the correct answer is 30th. So it is 30th birthday of Mrs. Dalloway, which is celebrated in the novel Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. Okay. Next question is, Leo Tolstoy and Fool by George Orwell deals with. So here we are talking about a work by George Orwell. वो उसका key idea क्या है? And the options are Shakespeare in positive light, Tolstoy in positive light, Orwell in positive light, or Virginia Woolf in positive light. So we have 4 options, and the correct answer is A, Shakespeare in positive light. So Leo Tolstoy and Fool by George Orwell deals with Shakespeare in positive light. There is an essay by Tolstoy in which he criticizes King Lear. And here in this essay, Leo Tolstoy and Fool, Orwell defends Shakespeare and his qualities of writing, which Tolstoy fails to understand. So it also talks about the incapabilities of Tolstoy. So Leo Tolstoy and Fool talks about Shakespeare in positive light and Leo Tolstoy in a kind of negative light, right? So A is the correct answer. Next question is, what is the full name of Mrs. Dalloway in a novel by Virginia Woolf? Mrs. Dalloway एक novel है Virginia Woolf की, उसमें Mrs. Dalloway का पूरा नाम क्या है? And the options are Mrs. Clara Dalloway, Mrs. Clarissa Dalloway, Mrs. Elizabeth Dalloway, or Mrs. Peter Dalloway. And the correct answer is Mrs. Clarissa Dalloway. So B is the right answer. The full name of Mrs. Dalloway is Mrs. Clarissa Dalloway. And here we have an important point. Remember this point because this Clarissa word, this name is taken from Richardson's character Clarissa Harlowe. So it can be asked in any exam, net exam or HTET, or any competitive exam based on literature. So you can write it down. This name Clarissa has been taken from Richardson character Clarissa Harlowe, right? Next question is, the adjective Orwellian refers to. Orwellian, this word is based on George Orwell's name, and it has entered the dictionary as well. This adjective has entered the dictionary nowadays. And what does it mean? What does this adjective Orwellian means? And the options are totalitarianism, authority, both of these, or none of these. What is totalitarianism? It is a kind of dictatorship, or when we try to control somebody's life or public's life. So we have options totalitarianism and authority, both of these or none of these, and the correct answer is both of these. Orwellian means totalitarianism and authority both. So C is the correct answer. Next question is, identify the work which is not written by George Orwell. So here we have a list of novels, and you have to identify which of these is not written by George Orwell. And the options are Animal Farm, 1984, Nostromo, Down and Out in Paris and London. And the correct answer is Nostromo. Nostromo is not a work by George Orwell because it is a work by Joseph Conrad. So C is the right answer. Nostromo is not written by George Orwell. Next question is, a response to Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment is written by which writer? So here we are talking about Dostoevsky's novel Crime and Punishment, and we have to identify which of these writers has written a response to Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. And the options are W.B. Yeats, W.H. Auden, Joseph Conrad, or Virginia Woolf. And the correct answer is Joseph Conrad. Conrad has written a novel, Under the Western Eyes. So the name of the novel, which is written as a response to Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment, it is the novel Under the Western Eyes. So the right answer is Joseph Conrad. And the next question is, which work by George Orwell deals with the theme of poverty and slum? So here we are talking about a work by George Orwell. We have to identify that work, और किस वर्क में, जॉर्ज ऑरवेल के किस वर्क में पॉवर्टी और स्लम की बात हुई है या ये थीम डिस्कस हुई है. एंड द ऑप्शंस आर डाउन एंड आउट इन लंडन एंड पेरिस, रोड टू वीगन पायर, होमेज टू कैटलोनिया and Animal Farm. Okay, and the right answer is Down and Out in London and Paris. So this novel deals with poverty and slum. So A is the correct answer, right? Next question is, The Inheritors is written by Conrad in collaboration with whom? So here we are talking about The Inheritors, which is a work by Joseph Conrad, and here we are talking about Conrad has written it with some other writer. So we have to identify the other writer जिसके साथ Conrad ने मिलके The Inheritors लिखा है, उस राइटर का नाम आइडेंटिफाई करना है. एंड द ऑप्शंस आर D.H. Lawrence, Ford Madox Ford, Virginia Woolf and James Joyce. And the correct answer is Ford Madox Ford. So B is the right answer. This novel, The Inheritors, is written in collaboration with Ford Madox Ford, and the novel deals with an aspiring writer. So Joseph Conrad and Ford Madox Ford have written The Inheritors, which deals with an aspiring writer. So the correct answer for the question is B, Ford Madox Ford. The next question is, what is the subtitle of The Inheritors? So यहाँ पे Inheritors का subtitle पूछा गया है, and the options are a scientific story, an improvident story, story of a spendthrift, an extravagant story. And the subtitle of The Inheritors is an extravagant story. So D is the correct answer. Next question is, टाइफून इज अ वर्क बाय whom? टाइफून एक वर्क है, वो किसका वर्क है? एंड द ऑप्शंस आर हक्सले, D.H. Lawrence, Graham Greene, Joseph Conrad. And the correct answer is Joseph Conrad. Typhoon is a work by Joseph Conrad. Typhoon is a kind of novella that portrays, a story of Mr. Macquarie. Mr. Macquarie is a captain of a ship who, gets caught in a typhoon. What is typhoon? Typhoon is a kind of storm. So, Typhoon is a work by Joseph Conrad. D is the right answer. Next question is, which of these characters is not a character in Typhoon? इनमें से कौन सा character Typhoon में नहीं है? Typhoon, we have just discussed, is a novel by Joseph Conrad. So Typhoon में इनमें से कौन सा character नहीं है, या इनमें से कौन सा character Typhoon में नहीं है? And the options are Solomon Rout, Adolph Verlog, John Macquarie and Jukes. So here we have 4 characters, और इन 4 character में से टाइफून में कौन सा कैरेक्टर नहीं है? एंड द करेक्ट आंसर इज एडोल्फ वर्लॉक, बिकॉज एडोल्फ वर्लॉक इज अ कैरेक्टर इन सीक्रेट एजेंट, एंड सीक्रेट एजेंट इज अ नॉवल बाय जोसेफ कॉनरेड, राइट? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, विच ऑफ दीज वर्क्स इज नॉट रिटन बाय जोसेफ कॉनरेड? इनमें से कौन सा वर्क जोसेफ कॉनरेड ने नहीं लिखा है? एंड द ऑप्शंस आर एल्मेयर्स फॉली, हार्ट ऑफ डार्कनेस, लॉर्ड जिम, बर्मीज डेज. Okay, and the correct answer is Burmese Days. Burmese Days is not written by Joseph Conrad, rather it is written by George Orwell. So D is the right answer. Burmese Days is not written by Joseph Conrad. Okay, the next question is, identify the last line of Ulysses by James Joyce. And the options are, here we are talking about some lines, and we have to identify which of these lines is the last line of Ulysses. And the options are, she would buy the flowers herself. And the next option is, one cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one has not dined well. And the third option is, yes, I said, yes, I will, yes, or none of these. So here we have basically 3 options, or fourth one is none of these. So 3 lines are, she would buy the flowers herself, one cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one has not dined well, yes, I said, yes, I will, yes. So which is the correct answer? Which is the last line of Ulysses? C is the correct answer. Yes, I said, yes, I will, yes. It is the last line of Ulysses, which is a novel by James Joyce, because she would buy the flowers herself is the opening line of Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and one cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one hasn't dined well, it is the line from Room of One's Own by. The right answer is, yes, I said, yes, I will, yes. So C is the right answer. This is the last line of Ulysses by James Joyce, right? The next question is, name of the ship in Lord Jim by Conrad. So here we are talking about Lord Jim, a novel by Joseph Conrad. उसमें एक शिप का जिक्र है, उस शिप का नाम बताना है. एंड द ऑप्शंस आर पटना, पटवा, बोलो, ग्लिस्टर. सो वी हैव 4 ऑप्शंस एंड we have to identify the right one, and A is the right answer. Patna is the name of the ship in Lord Jim by Joseph Conrad. Next question is, Ulysses is a story of. Ulysses किस डे की स्टोरी है या किस डेट की स्टोरी है? एंड द ऑप्शंस आर 11th March 1900, 16th June 1904, 5th of July 1902, 2nd October 1906. And the correct answer is 16th June 1904. So the correct answer is B. So Ulysses is a single day story like Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, but here we are talking about Ulysses, and Ulysses is a story of single day, that is 16th June 1904. So we have discussed about the writers of modern age, and we will continue this in next section as well. So keep watching for more videos and more questions. Thank you so much for watching this video.